The road to $10,500 runs through the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Are you ready to gamble? The drivers of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship are about to roll the dice at Las Vegas for round number 4 of 17 on their season for 2012. Good evening, my name is Tim Terry, joined by Nim Cross and Nim. 43 drivers getting ready to attack the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I can't wait.
Yep, 43 drivers, and one of the new drivers to the series, Michael Conte, leads the point standings with 125 points over last season's champion, Ray Alfala. This is one of the races that Michael Conte did very well in the Pro Series leading up to this series, so it should be a good night for Michael Conte.
And he finished in position number 3 in that race. Battle between himself, Alex Warren, and Pat Baldwin. All three of those drivers are in this field tonight. Michael Conte starts first, Alex Warren starts fourth, and Pat Baldwin starts in position number 14. So those drivers will be looking to rekindle some magic from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. There are 43 drivers out here this evening, and we talked a little bit before we came on the air this evening. This is the site of one of the major events in this NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship back in 2010. We had our first international winner of the series, Sandeep Banerjee, went to victory in 2010. Brad Davies last season, and as we mentioned, Alex Warren in the Pro Series. Those are your three former winners at this track to watch. Conte sat down with him on Tim's Corner Unplugged this week, and he's turning 15 later on in the week, and that's the real big thing. 14 years old, leading the points, and he says the pressure really is on him now. He's got Ray Alfala behind him. He says he checks that every couple of days. I've got the champ behind me. He won $10,500 last year. He said the pressure's not getting to him, but Nim, when you got that guy behind you, you have to feel a little bit of heat.
Well, definitely. It's really early in the season, and coming out of Daytona, where it's kind of a roll of the dice like it is here at Las Vegas. But anything can happen at Daytona. And now that we're at those tracks where it's setup related and driver skill related, Ray Alfala's come to the front. Ray's moved his way up to second place in points, and Mike should be a little bit worried because Ray's right there, and Ray's already proven that he can do it.
Another driver that we need to watch this evening is going to start on the outside of the front row. That is Brian Schoenberg, car number 55. He is currently fourth in the point standings, 107 points to Mike Conte's 125. Schoenberg is one of the fan favorites here in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, the Obuto Gaming Cockpits number 55. And if he's looking to make a splash, great night to do it here tonight at Las Vegas. He has Jeremy Allen just ahead of him in the point standings. Jeremy Allen, though, going to start in 11th place.
Yep, Jeremy Allen third, as you said, in the points. Schoenberg fourth, and also Tyler Hudson right there in the fifth spot. All those guys looking to have good runs here at Vegas tonight.
As these drivers complete their laps here in the final happy hour session before we go racing, just want to remind you that if you are on Twitter, of course, you can follow PSR TV at twitter.com/PSR TV, or you can follow myself at twitter.com/TimTerry0. Me and Josh Parker are having a follow war here tonight. Josh Parker 81 is his Twitter account. He's going to start somewhere in this field this evening. So if you're looking to get on Twitter, hashtag Vegas NiSWC, the best tweet from tonight that has to do with the race, going to win a $25 iRacing gift card. That's hashtag Vegas NiSWC. You could find yourself $25 richer in iRacing credit by the end of the evening. Drivers have completed their session. We are getting ready to go green flag racing. Let's go down this 43-car grid because we don't want to leave anybody out. They've made it this far. Let's greet our 43 drivers that are set to do battle. On the front row, it's the number 5 of Mike Conte, 29.343. Brian Schoenberg on the outside, 29.345.
Row number 2 has last year's champion Ray Alfala starting third in the number 2 car. Outside him, Alex Warren, last season's Pro Series champion.
Robert Hall to the inside of row number 3, and to the outside, 32, Paul Kashiba.
Inside row number 4, Josh Berry, car number 72. Outside him, Nick Ottinger, car number 05.
It's the Spy Optics Chevrolet, Steve Sheehan to the inside in position number 9, and to the outside, the Mud Jugs, number 84, John Adams.
Jeremy R. Allen starts 11th. Outside of him, Brad Wright in 12th.
Carson McClellan and Patrick Baldwin make up the next row, all Sim Chassis.
Josh Connor and Byron Daly make up row number 8.
We have Daniel Pope II on the inside in the 18, starting 17th, and starting on the outside, position 18 is the 16 of Thomas Lewandowski.
Or number 10 on the inside, Connor McKenzie. Outside him, Jake Sturgis.
Marcus Lindsay starts the 1 from 21. The 21 of John Gorlinski starts 22nd.
23rd, Richie Vidowitz in car number 25. Outside him, the car 03 of Charles Cosper.
The Mohican Missile starts in position number 25 as the cars begin to roll off. Pedro Mojica and Tyler Hudson to his outside.
In the next row, we got Thomas Hazard on the inside, Cyril Nussbaum on the outside.
Michael J. Johnson starts 29th, and 30th is Landon Harrison.
31st, Brandon Bushberger. Outside him, Kevin King.
Josh Lawton starts in position number 33. Chris Overland starts P34.
Brad Davies, 35, and 36, Chad Coleman.
Brian Blackford, 33, starts in position number 37. Josh Parker, 81 on Twitter, going to start P38. Josh Parker in the 23.
39th, Patrick Fogel on the inside. Outside him, Justin Thompson.
Completing your field, Vinny Sansone in the number 80, Andrew Fayash the third in the 77, and Chris Main in the number 38. The one driver that attempted to qualify for the race that did not make it is Florian Goddard. He will not make the field this evening, and we have a couple of drivers that are not in the field that we will talk about throughout the show here under one of the first caution flags of the evening. Drivers down the back straight away getting ready to take the green flag for the first of 134 laps around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Glad you could be with us here on iRacing Live. It's Michael Conti and Brian Schoenberg, 5 and 55. On the front row, the champ, Ray Alfala, and the Pro Series champ, Alex Warren, comprise row number 2. Star-studded field of drivers here at Las Vegas. Pace car going to make that hard left-hand turn into pit road. Michael Conti is in control of this field, the point leader. About to see the green flag, and we are underway for round number 4 at Las Vegas.
Conti gets a good jump going down the front straightaway. Schoenberg to the outside. Looking under him is Ray Alfala. Alfala might try to pick up that second spot so he can get in right behind Conti for the start of this race.
The Pro Geek Consulting, number 2 to the inside. Ray Alfala going to take position number 2. Brian Schoenberg falls back to third. It is side-by-side for fourth. Here comes Robert Hall to the inside of Alex Warren for position number 4.
Schoenberg goes to the inside, gets that second spot back from Ray Alfala.
So move Schoenberg up to P2, Robert Hall up to P4. Here comes Paul Kashiba. Great qualifying effort for the 32. Kashiba looking at Alex Warren.
Yeah, Kashiba down on the inside as they go through corner number 1 and 2. It's kind of bumpy down the inside of corner number 1 and 2. You got to be very careful down the inside. It doesn't wash the car up. Alex Warren up on the outside has the momentum going down the back straightaway.
Ray Alfala just in front of them, looking for the position again. Ducks the nose underneath, nothing doing there. Schoenberg maintains P2. Meanwhile, here comes Nick Ottinger. Ottinger underneath Alex Warren for position. The GSR Chevrolet on the outside going to lose 1 to the 05.
Ottinger picks up that position. Carson McClellan also picks up a position right behind them on the car number 6 of Steve Sheehan.
Ray Alfala going to take position number 2 back. Robert Hall going to take third. Brian Schoenberg going to fall 1, 2, and maybe 3 as you watch from Ray Alfala. Here comes Paul Kashiba. Kashiba to the inside going to pick up 1. Here comes Ottinger. He's going to take 1, 2.
Yeah, Schoenberg dropped back a couple of spots there. Alex Warren also losing the spot to Carson McClellan right behind him.
It looks like Robert Hall is going to dive underneath Ray Alfala, the Sim Chassis. Chevrolet wants to take it away from the Pro Geek Consulting Chevrolet at P2. While they exchange the second place position, Michael Conti is gone. 1.3 seconds between your top 2.
Yeah, nothing like that clean air. Conti likes it out front. He's able to just drive away as these guys race hard behind.
Alfala, Hall, Kashiba, and Ottinger, your top 5, as here comes Carson McClellan. Carson McClellan, what a great run so far for the 46, moving underneath the 55 at P6.
Yeah, Carson's picked up a number of spots early on in this race. One driver having problems right now, Chris Overland. His car not being scored right now. He's 3 laps down. Looks like he's having some connection issues.
That's tough for the number 47 car as he's trying to get a top 25 spot to be locked into next season's NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship. Steve Sheehan, you ride on the roof, looking at the 82 of Alex Warren.
Everybody kind of single file right now, kind of getting sorted out. Looks like Ottinger trying to make a little bit of move on Paul Kashiba going on in that second turn coming off the corner, but he's not able to make it happen this time.
Side by side, going for position number 8, Sheehan trying to take it away from Alex Warren. Josh Berry in the fray as well, as is Jeremy Allen and Patrick Baldwin, and Jake Sturgis up here as well as the 6 tries to clear the number 82. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nim, I believe this race last season went a full green flag stop before we saw our first caution.
Yeah, we'll have to double check on that. I believe we did have a lot of good racing here early on in the race. And after these guys had a little bit of a problem last week at Chicago, as we got a pass for second place right now between Ray Alfalo and Robert Hall. But after last week's race at Chicagoland, where we had a lot of bent-up cars, these guys are probably trying to have a little bit better race this time around.
Paul Kashiba gets shuffled to the outside line. Nick Ottinger trying to pick up a spot. Carson McClellan is flying here early in the race. Carson is a teammate to Robert Hall in that number 30, so that shouldn't be any surprise as Robert Hall lightning quick and Patrick Baldwin was lightning quick here in the Pro Series. Watch for Team Sim Chassis to be strong here this evening as the 30 keeps trying to poke that nose underneath the number 2 of Ray Alfalo. Your leader continues to be Mike Conti, and it's nearly 2 seconds between your top 2.
You know, a lot of these guys have their cars set up and getting ready for the first pit stop. They're going to make some changes on these first pit stops that will dial the cars in a little bit better. And some of them might not be on their prime setups as of yet, and they're going to wait for that first caution. So that's why we might be seeing a few cars falling back right now and not quite ready, for the race, and maybe have some trouble. And we might see them come on stronger at the end of the race.
As they continue to battle back there, looking at the 6 of Steve Sheehan right now. Let's see if we can't go back to him. He's losing a bunch of positions back here around position number 9. He's going to be outside the top 10 before this is over. Jeremy Allen just in front of him, going to make up a spot. And when we talked to Steve Sheehan before we came on air here, and him, I asked how long can you go on fuel. He said 54 laps. There was no hesitation, 54 laps. So right now we're working lap number 10. It looks like that Steve might need some adjusting for that race car as Alfalo and Hall go side by side for second now.
Yeah, 4-car battle here for the session, and we have trouble down the back straightaway.
The yellow flag is out.
That'll bring out the caution flag. It's the 48 and 11, Brad Wright and Brad Davies getting involved in this one, and it's a hard hit to the inside wall for the 48 of Brad Wright, as is Brad Davies. Caution flag number 1 will fly here on lap number 10, and Nim, looking at this, it looks like maybe Brad Wright may have got just a little bit wide out of corner number 2 as we roll the replay.
Yeah, it looks like Wright got up into the wall coming out 2 there a little bit, got down into Davies, and sent them pretty hard down the inside wall.
And Brad Davies just an innocent victim in this one, as Davies, the defending winner of this race, will likely not defend his race win. Josh Connors goes through there. The Sea Giraffe slides through that wreck as the caution flag flies for the first time this evening.
Josh Connors did a really good job on missing that wreck, as he had to jam on the brakes so not to get in the back of the 80 car there, and he did a good job missing that.
Leaders now coming down to pit road, and when we talked to Steve prior to the race, he had told us that the first yellow flag, regardless if it was lap 10 or lap 100, they would be down for 4 tires and fuel. So it looks like these drivers will be heading down pit road, and if Steve is right, the magical forecast shows us 4 tires and fuel for these drivers as Chris Overland receives the I-Dog. He will get 1 lap back of his, I believe, 4 that he is currently down. And it is 4 tires on the JDR graphics, number 5 of Mike Conti.
Yeah, all these guys will be making setup adjustments too, so we should have quite a different flavor of race going on now, with guys having some prime adjustments that they wanted for the rest of the race here, and we'll see who has dialed in their car right and who will be quick in the next stint.
And I stand corrected, Chris Overland was 5 laps down as he was having those connection issues, so now he should be 4 laps behind the pace, as Mike Conti wins Robert Hall off pit road first ahead of Mike Conti, and it looks like Paul Kashiba going to come off 3rd according to what I'm seeing down the back straightaway. Landon Harrison stays out on the racetrack to lead a lap. It's the Viper Technologies ETV at number 89, as he will stay out on the racetrack and get a bonus point for leading a lap. And after missing the race last week, that's going to be his quote-unquote drop week. Every driver is allowed to have 1 drop week. The best 16 weeks count towards the season total. But Landon Harrison looking good out in front. Glad to see him back in the series.
Looking at the top 2 cars right now, that would be Landon Harrison and Robert Hall. Hall had a really good, strong run early. We'll see if the setup adjustments he made will be just as good as he was in the first few laps here. As he came through there pretty strong, Tim. Him and Carson.
Yeah, the sim chassis drivers have been really quick here in the last couple of weeks, and especially through that Pro Series. And looking at the 30 of Robert Hall, looking at the 46, as you mentioned, of Carson McClellan, 52 of Pat Baldwin will be up there before this race is over, I am sure, and the 29 at Kevin King. And we want to send out congratulations to Kevin King and his family, brand new baby girl since the last time we were on the air for the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. So congratulations to Kevin, his wife, and the whole family there. But now he sets his sights on $10,500 as he is behind the wheel of car number 29, but it looks like he may have some work to do here this evening. P21 so far for 29. And technology is awesome, Nim. If you're watching us on iRacing.com, iRacing.com/live, you can watch us on Android, you can watch us on Apple, you can watch us on Orange. Okay, maybe not. Oranges are good fruit, though. Anyways, you can watch us on so many different devices now that it is crazy as Landon Harrison comes down onto pit road to get service to his race car. So we're moving into the 21st century, and if you want to watch us on Apple, you can definitely do that now.
Lights are out in the pace car. 1 lap to go. We're working lap number 14 right now, so we'll go green on lap number 15. 134 laps in this race.
So as I mentioned before, we saw a long green flag run at the start of this race last season. I have a feeling that what we saw here in this race so far in the first 10 laps, I don't see why we can't go a 54-lap fuel run on this next stint here. Robert Hall, Mike Conti, your top 2, Paul Kashiba, Carson McClellan, Nick Ottinger, your top 5, with Robert Hall controlling this restart, and with him being lightning quick on the first few laps of this race. We might see Robert Hall take the lead here and walk away with it, but Conti was fast on that first run, so it'll be interesting to see who gets the advantage here when we go green.
Yeah, it will be interesting. It'll also be interesting to see who made changes and who will be fast that wasn't before. They will need probably 2 more pit stops. If they go as far as they can from here, they're going to need another pit stop for at least a splash and go. So they're going to be about 10 laps short, pitting from here. So they're going to need at least 2 more stops from here, and we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty sure we'll probably get another caution between here and then, Tim, but pace car about ready to leave.
Pace car about ready to duck off the racetrack. Brad Davies still on the racetrack. Brad Wright currently off the racetrack from that last incident. Pace car in, and Robert Hall is leaving. Green flag flies. The Sim Chassis Chevrolet leaves everybody else in the dust. Here comes Paul Kashiba. Kashiba going to look at position number 2.
Kashiba down to the inside. Michael Conte up on the outside there. Kashiba does have the preferred position down there, but Michael Conte, really good setup, really good at this track. He's going to try to make the momentum work down the back straightaway.
Here comes 32 down the back straightaway. Underneath the number 546 is there as well. Kashiba, Conti, McClellan as they go for position number 2. Alfala and Ottinger at it as well. Fantastic 5-car battle for second.
Landon Harrison on pit lane. Carson McClellan looking on the outside on Kashiba going down to the corner number 1. That's a pretty bold move as he was behind Kashiba going through 3 and 4. But now the 46 car up on the outside makes a very impressive pass over Kashiba down the back straightaway.
Ray Alfala thinking about 3 wide here. Oh, he's going to do it too. Ottinger up the racetrack. Kashiba up the racetrack. Alfala gets 2 for 1.
Yeah, it doesn't look like those adjustments that Kashiba made are working very well with him right now. A lot of cars being held up and actually making some moves around the outside of him.
Where did Jeremy Allen come from? Jeremy Allen now in the fray as well in the 28 as we have a side-by-side battle for second. Conti and McClellan down the back straightaway. Carson McClellan looking at second.
McClellan has to fall back in line behind Conti as they go through corner number 3 and 4. Right behind them, Kashiba still being pressured by Jeremy Allen.
You ride on board with Carson McClellan as he looks up at Michael Conti for the second place position. You see the JDR Graphics Chevrolet in front of you, and you see Robert Hall getting smaller in the windshield, 0.8 of a second between your top two.
Ray Alfalla in position number 4 looks to the inside of Carson McClellan as they go through 3 and 4. McClellan didn't want to give him that spot, but Ray Alfalla was right there. Carson will have to move up the track a little bit and give position for Ray Alfalla going down the front straightaway.
Nick Ottinger currently running in 5th, looking at 2 and 46 in front of him as he battles for position number 3. Alfalla takes the final podium position. McClellan on the inside. Here comes the 05 on the outside. Crossover move for 3rd, side by side down the back straightaway.
Yeah, very impressive. Carson McClellan down the inside. He puts the crossover on Ray Alfalla. That gets him the position. We'll see if he can try to make the pass work as Ray Alfalla holds on up in the outside lane.
They don't want to do this for long, though, Nim, as Nick Ottinger nearly got the wall off corner number 4 because it is closing in the likes of Jeremy Allen. It's closing in Paul Kashiba, Brian Schoenberg, Jake Sturgis, and Alex Warren in your top 10. 46 continues to work underneath the 2. Here comes the 28.
Yeah, you got to be real careful coming off the corner there as Ottinger gets on the wall a little bit. He thought the 46 car was going to slide up into him, and he adjusted, and that got him up in the wall a little bit. But you want to be real careful coming off of corner number 2 there that you don't slide into the outside lane. But it looks like, Tim, we got a real outside lane here today as a lot of cars working the outside, going really fast.
Jeremy Allen picks up a spot on Nick Ottinger as Ottinger got into the wall. Here comes the 55 now. Brian Schoenberg. Schoenberg picks up 1. Steve Sheehan has now re-broken into the top 10 as he's going to try to pick up one more spot on Jake Sturgis.
Ottinger working on the outside of Jeremy R. Allen. He's trying to make that happen. Wasn't able to make it happen off of 2 last time by.
41 of Sturgis may have got the wall going into corner number 3 as he's going to lose 1 position to Steve Sheehan. Here comes Alex Warren. Warren trying to re-enter the top 10 as you look back from the Spy Optic Chevrolet of Steve Sheehan.
Alex Warren looking right back there underneath the Sturgis car as they go through 3 and 4. Alex Warren not having to back off. Josh Berry right to the outside of him now coming down the back straightaway.
Fantastic battle just inside the top 10 as Sheehan will occupy position number 9, Sturgis in 10th, and then the battle for 11th on back. Gorlinski going to make it 3 wide here. John Gorlinski in the 21, thought about splitting the dime into 2 nickels. He backs out of it, 72 and 82 side by side for 11.
Yeah, he thought better of that, which was actually a pretty smart move by John there. He didn't want to make it 3 wide. It wasn't a very smart move, but he's right there trying to make a pass happen as he gets some momentum built up on the outside. He'll go to the outside of Alex Warren down the back straightaway.
Battle for second also heating up as well as Ray Alfalla to the inside of Mike Conti. Alfalla, the champ, up to position number 2, and those are the 2 drivers battling for the points championship here early in the 2012 season. Alfalla the second.
Next to put the pressure on Conte will be Carson McClellan as he goes through 3 and 4. Right behind him, Nick Ottinger.
And Robert Hall doing the same thing that Mike Conti did on the first run of this race. 1.3 seconds between your top 2 drivers. Robert Hall is gone, but Ray Alfalla going to try to close in that gap. Carson McClellan and Nick Ottinger now try to chase the 5 of Mike Conti. Is up at a 4. We have the 30 continuing to lead, 24 complete.
Got a report that Justin Thompson scraped the wall coming out of corner number 2 last time, so we'll have to check to see if he's damaged his car.
0.5 to the outside, trying to pass Carson McClellan. That is the Gale Force suspension Ream Chevrolet of Nick Ottinger, trying to pass the 46 car of Carson McClellan, the 28 of Jeremy Allen, also there, as is the 55 of Brian Schoenberg. It seems the longer we go in this run, Nim, the 55 seems to hit a sweet spot. Yeah,
he's got a good setup, and that's a good thing for him, that if his setup will work on the later runs, he'll be able to gain a lot of positions.
You're right on the roof of the 05 of Nick Ottinger, looking to the outside now at Carson McClellan. Can he make it work? Yes, he can. To the outside goes the 05 of Nick Ottinger, 46 on the inside of Carson McClellan. Now the 28 of Jeremy Allen. He's going to look to the inside line, trying to leave the 05 out on the outside line, but the 05 looks to be good on that outside line. He is going to be position number 4 here.
You know, it's fun to race up on the outside line and pass up on the outside line. And when you have a car set up that allow you to work up there, you know, right now Nick Ottinger's having a lot of fun. Putting that move up on the outside and doing so going down the back straightaway here, that's a lot of fun to make a pass like that.
Now where does Jeremy Allen go? He sees that the 05 is good on the outside. Why can't I go on the outside line? Jeremy Allen looking to the outside. 55 of Brian Schoenberg there as well. He slides in behind now the 46 of Carson McClellan. So Nick Ottinger moves up a spot. Now 28 of Jeremy Allen. I'm going to take the inside road. Side by side between he and Carson McClellan for P5.
Jeremy Allen looks to be able to pick up that spot down the front straightaway, but Carson McClellan right there has the momentum coming off of corner number 2. Allen gets a little bit loose down the inside there. Schoenberg looks to the inside but can't make it happen.
He thought about going 3 wide to the inside of the 28 and the 46, but nothing doing there on lap number 28 of 134. 28 continues to flash the nose. Here comes the 55 now of Brian Schoenberg. Schoenberg to the inside, no contest. Jeremy Allen rolls over for him. Brian Schoenberg, P6.
Schoenberg really strong through 3 and 4 the last time, and Jeremy Allen had nothing that he could do for him, so he just let him go. He'll fall back in line and try to make some adjustments, get him later on in the race.
Battle for third about to heat up. Here comes Nick Ottinger on Mike Conti. Conti trying to hold position number 3. Ottinger wants it away from the JDR Graphics Chevrolet Impala. Ottinger looking at P3. That's a battle for that third place position, but it's 1.9 seconds behind your leader. Alfala continues to bite in to the lead that Robert Hall has. It's now 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, Robert Hall real strong up front right now as the battle for that third position heats up a little bit. It looks like Ottinger's going to try to Ottinger picks up that spot, gets into the third position.
And you mentioned that high line here, Nim. It seems like Nick Ottinger is the only driver to really be able to make that high line work, at least in about the top 5 right now. We've seen Jeremy Allen trying to pick up his spot, go to the inside line. We've seen Brian Schoenberg do the same thing. Could this play dividends for Nick Ottinger at the end of this race?
Definitely. If you can make a car work up there, we see some other drivers do it in traffic, but we've seen Nick do it by himself where he's alone with another car, and that's a strong move. You see a car up on the high side just making passes around other cars, especially at this level and this caliber of cars, then you're strong. So we'll have to look for Ottinger to see, and we'll check his times here. Right now he's 2.047 seconds behind the leader. That time by he's 2.033, so he is gaining a little bit on Robert Hall.
Let's look back here at about 15th place. We have the 52 of Patrick Baldwin on the outside line, the 01 of Tyler Hudson. You ride on board with Kevin King as he tries to make up a spot. Alex Warren is also in this battle as well. King to the inside line on Tyler Hudson. Going to try to pick up one more spot. This is the battle for P15, and Kevin King looks to have the spot.
Yeah, King didn't have a very good qualifying spot. Qualified way back in the 30th position or so. As making his way back up to the field, looks pretty strong right now.
And just in front of him, here comes Patrick Baldwin to the inside of Alex Warren. Going to try to pick up one more spot. Hudson fighting back on the outside line. Great run for the 0-1 in corners number 1 and 2, and he takes back the spot. Fantastic racing.
Yeah, there's a lot of grip up there in corner number 1 and 2. We see a number of drivers making it work up there right now. Hudson, a really good line through that corner that time, able to pick up the spot around King.
And he's going to try to pick up one more on the 82 and maybe try to go 3 wide here on the 52 of Patrick Baldwin. He loses control of the 0-1. Great save by Tyler Hudson in the 0-1 car. Oh my, but he's going to lose at least a dozen spots.
Yeah, that was a good save. He got the car down there on the apron. That got his chassis a little bit upset. Slid her sideways, gained her back under control, and is back on his way. But that was a really good save.
He's going to fall back behind Byron Daly in position number 23 right now, so he definitely has some work to do to get back up to the front. We're going to look at the double box, look at the replay of what happened to the 0-1 of Tyler Hudson. But that battle continues to rage on here, Nim. Here comes the 29 of Kevin King to the outside. He's going to take the spot on Pat Baldwin. The 18 of Daniel Pope's back here, 25 Richie Davidowitz, and also, as we mentioned, Paul Kashiba is back here as well in the 32.
Yeah, a lot of good cars back here. Patrick Baldwin we saw fighting for the lead a couple races ago along with Kevin King. So a lot of these guys are normally racing up front. And Alex Warren there, your Pro Series champion, which is the qualifying series that gets you into this series. So, all these guys, very strong competitors back here.
Here comes the 29 of Kevin King on the inside of the 82 of Alex Warren as they go side by side for what is position number 13 right now. Kevin King trying to take it away from the Pro Series champion Alex Warren, who ran so good here in that Pro Series, was the winner of the Las Vegas race, but right now has to contend with Kevin King to the inside. Paul Kashiba thinking about making it a double file between himself and Pat Baldwin.
Yeah, Kashiba's got Daniel Pope the third right behind him, but now Kevin King to the inside, Alex Warren to the outside, going down in corner number 1 and 2. We'll see. Oh, and Alex Warren hits the wall a little bit. That'll give King the advantage as they go through corner number 2.
It's a wide racetrack. Let's go 3 wide. Oh, they thought about it. Patrick Baldwin and Paul Kashiba thought about going low on Alex Warren, but nothing doing there. They get back to single file racing. Kevin King takes that spot away. Just a quick update for up front. Robert Hall, Ray Alfala, it's still a second between your top two. As you look back from Alex Warren in the core pipe, gsracing.net Chevrolet.
Daniel Pope looks to the inside, coming down the front straightaway in corner number 1 there. He can't make it happen. Now Richie Davidowicz challenges Pope up on the outside.
Just behind them, the 1 of Marcus Lindsay, the 16 of Thomas Lewandowski are battling for position, and Marcus Lindsay nearly went up and got the 16 of Thomas Lewandowski going into corner number 3. It opens the door for Byron Daly and the number 91 Daly to the inside.
The 18 and 25 cars side by side going down into corner number 1. This is a battle for the 17th position. Davidowicz has it, and Daniel Pope wants it up on the outside. Davidowicz will have the advantage this time.
6 and 28 battling for position number 6 as well. Steve Sheehan, that car continues to come in as Sheehan moves to position number 6, and he's bringing a teammate along with him. Here comes John Gorlinski in the degree for men, number 21.
Looks like Jeremy Allen got a little piece of the wall coming out of corner number 2 that last time by. That gave Sheehan the advantage. Now Gorlinski down to the inside of Jeremy Allen, and Allen loose again coming off the corner, but Gorlinski had to pedal the throttle there just a little bit. He can't make it happen. We'll have to try to follow in next time.
So that battle subsides for now with Sheehan taking position number 6. Allen, Gorlinski, Schoenberg, and Josh Berry complete your top 10, and a great run for John Adams back there as well. John Adams runs in position number 11 at this point. As we work lap number 41 of 134, laps continue to click away here at the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship event from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You're looking at your leader right now, the number 30 of Robert Hall, Ray Alfala in second. He is closing here, Nim, but he's closing very small amounts per lap. Looking back here, though, I do see Michael Conti is battling with Carson McClellan, or it looked like Carson McClellan back there for position, but I see that is Brad Davies. Davies is going to lap down.
Yeah, the two guys up front right now, Robert Hall and Alfala, seem to be the class of the field. Everybody else dropping back just a little bit, but they're racing pretty hard. So the traffic is not helping them out. But right now, Robert Hall and Ray Alfala are definitely the two fastest cars on the track.
Back here around P20 is Tyler Hudson. And Byron Daly, Thomas Lewandowski, and just in front of them we have a battle side-by-side between Richie Davidowicz and Patrick Baldwin. That is the side-by-side battle at P15 right now as Baldwin takes the spot.
Yeah, a lot of heavy traffic back here, a lot of side-by-side action going on from about the 10th, 11th on spot all the way back to about 17th or 18th.
They continue to go at it for P15. Davidowicz 25 on the inside, now behind the number 52 of Patrick Baldwin. That leaves the next side-by-side battle in this little pack to the number 91 of Byron Daly, to the inside of the 16 of Thomas Lewandowski, and Gale 4 Sim Racing going to try to follow the 91 through the 01 and 40, trying to pass the Junior Motorsports driver in front of them.
Patrick Lindsay get a little bit loose coming off of corner number 4 the last time by. Two drivers will get by him.
Looks like Daniel Pope II is flashing the nose underneath the number 82 as well. Back here for position, Byron Daly following him through fantastic battles all throughout this pack.
Yeah, Davidowicz now look to the inside of Patrick Baldwin, going through 3 and 4. But Davidowicz washes up the track just a little bit. He has to back out of it. That gives Patrick Baldwin the advantage coming off of corner 4.
And this is what happens when you get guys that are so even in competition. You have the 25, 52, 32. They're all running almost identical laps per lap, and obviously you're in this series, you're one of the best on the service. It has to get a little bit frustrating for like a Richie DeVito, when you're running P15 when you just can't pass that 52 in front of you.
Well, in the last time by there, he got down under Patrick there, and he's like, "This is my chance. I want to get him." And we could see it that he got in the corner just a little bit too hard. He was going to wash out the track. He didn't want to let out, but he finally realized he had to, and that cost him some time.
You're right on board with the 25 as he puts Brad Davies 1 lap down. He's actually 2 laps down now, is the number 11 of Brad Davies. 25 looking at the number 52 for position at number 15 as we go down the back straightaway. The 82 and the 18 and put the 11 in their rearview mirrors.
Looks like John Gorlinski picked up that 7th spot on Jeremy Allen that last lap.
25 and 52 continue to go at it. 52 had a little bobble at a corner number 4 as we work lap 48 of 134. Paul Kashiba is here in this battle as well. 32 looking at the battle in front of him between 25 and 52 for P14. As we mentioned, if you want to win $25 in iRacing gift cards, you want to head over to twitter.com, make up an account if you haven't already. If you do have an account, tweet about the race. Hashtag Vegas NiSWC. That's hashtag Vegas NiSWC. The best tweet at the end of the evening will win a $25 iRacing gift card and buy you a new car and a new track. We have caution on the speedway here on lap number 49. 51 car is around. That is Patrick Fogel.
Patrick Fogel in trouble in corner number 3, it looks like. We'll have to go back, going down the back straightaway. He might have had some problem as he was lapping the 11 car of Brad Davies, the 33 car. The 33 car definitely got into him, and that puts Fogel up in the fence in corner number 3.
And that's Brian White Chevy. Well, I guess April Fool's was a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago. That's Brian Blackford in the number 33 and the 51 of Patrick Fogel getting involved in that one. He told me that his name was White Chevy this week, so I guess that's kind of an April Fool's joke or play on the name on the number 33. Simplex Media Solutions Chevrolet Impala. 51 looks bent up on both sides of the rear end of the TC's custom die-cast Chevrolet as we work under caution on lap number 50.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to stay on the lead lap at least until he goes into the pits and his crew services that car to see what kind of repairs they need to make. But right now he's able to stay on the lead lap.
So your top 5 prior to pit stops. It's Robert Hall, Ray Alfala, Nick Ottinger, Michael Conti, and Steve Sheehan. Your top 5. Who decides to come down pit road here? I believe we've been about 40 or so laps. I think we're going to see everybody down. And what Steve Sheehan told us prior to on the pit stop strategy, fuel will dictate tires on these pit stops. So we'll see if anybody does decide to gamble here at Las Vegas with 2 tires or not. Here comes the field down onto pit road.
Right now, working lap number 51. From here, they would have, looks like about 82 laps to go, something like that. So they're definitely going to need to make another pit stop. But so they'll probably take 4 tires, I would guess, from here. If they would make that during that second pit stop, that'd be the time to take on 2. So we'll see what they do here. 2 tires up, right sides on everybody else. 30 car looks like they're going up on the left side, so it looks like 4 tire changes for most.
Robert Hall is down and away with 4 tires, and I believe he will win the race off pit road, but it's a cluster behind him. Ottinger, Alfala, and Conti coming off at the same time.
Looks like Vinny Sansone stays out to try to get an extra point for leading a lap for his efforts in the championship.
And Landon Harrison will receive the iDog. He will get his 1 lap back in the Viper Technologies, number 89. Let's step away for just a few moments' time. We'll bring you back to live green flag racing action. We're on lap 52 of 134 in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship at Las Vegas. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Jeremy Allen. Richard As a true NASCAR champion is Richard
Welcome back to iRacing Live and our coverage of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship event from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Lights atop the first racing Ford Mustang pace car have been extinguished. Next time by, we go racing. It's Robert Hall, Ray Alfalla, Nick Ottinger, Mike Conti, and Steve Sheehan, your top 5. Carson McClellan, John Gorlinski, Jeremy Allen, Josh Berry, and Brian Schoenberg, your top 10. Schoenberg has fallen back to 10th after that pit stop.
Take one look at see what caused that caution here before we go green the last time by. Looks like Patrick Fogel got a little bit of help from the 33 car there as Patrick goes up into the fence, and pretty heavy damage to that car. Right now, Patrick Fogel still able to stay on the lead lap as they make repairs to that car.
We did have Tyler Hudson lose connection to the server under that caution flag, so he'll have to get back into the race server and get back into his car. More than likely, he will be at least one lap down when he rejoins the field, and he's currently one lap down in P40, so watch for the 01 to try to rebound and possibly get an iDog to get back on the lead lap. Hall and Alfalla set to put the hammer down one more time as the first racing Ford Mustang pace car going to head to the safety of the infield. The Sim Chassis Chevrolet and the Pro Geek Consulting Chevrolet. See the green flag right here. Robert Hall puts the hammer down, and we are back under green.
Looks like Ray was a little bit slow on that start, as long as everybody else behind him. Nick Ottinger looking to the inside of Ray. Michael Conti up on the outside, but Robert Hall 3 to 4 car lengths out in front of the field.
And now the battle is for third. Mike Conti on the outside, Nick Ottinger on the inside. Drag race down the back straightaway. They have Steve Sheehan just behind them as they battle for third. John Gorlinski trying to make up a spot as well.
Carson McClellan looking up on the outside along with Michael Conti, trying to get around the car of Nick Ottinger and Steve Sheehan, but now Gorlinski down to the inside of Carson McClellan going down the front straightaway.
05 car goes to position number 3. Now here comes the 6 on the 5 as they go side by side. 21 going to try to follow him through on the 46 of Carson McClellan.
Right back behind them, they're side by side. Right back behind them, side by side, and some bumping and grinding going on back there between Gorlinski and Jeremy Allen, and now Carson McClellan, as now they're looking 3 wide.
Jeremy Allen in the middle. Here comes Josh Berry to the inside. Berry starting to make a move in the number 72. 46 to the outside line. Going to lose at least one position here as Carson McClellan tries to fight back on the outside line. Jeremy Allen now to the inside in the 28.
Yeah, it looks like Carson's car might be a little sluggish right now. Maybe they made some adjustments that'll take some time to get working on that car. Maybe some heat needed in those tires, but right now he's falling back and losing a few spots.
Give a call out to John Adams back here as well, battling with the 55 of Brian Schoenberg, side by side for position number 10 as Carson McClellan does a crossover move on the 28 on Jeremy Allen, side by side for position number 8 and side by side for 10th.
Yeah, maybe Carson's car doesn't like it up there in the high lane. He needed to get down to the bottom, but he put a pretty good move on Jeremy Allen there coming down the corner the last time, and now down the back straightaway. Looks like Jeremy Allen has momentum and is going to keep that spot.
28 takes a spot over the number 46 in corner number 3 as Pat Baldwin is stuck to the high side at position number 12. Here comes Kevin King to the inside and Richie Davidowitz trying to follow him through as well. 52 and 29, the teammates from Sim Chassis go side by side.
Yeah, Kevin King still working on that track to make it to the front of the field. Started way back beyond 30th position as they started this race, but now works his way up into the 12th position.
Back up front, here comes Mike Conti on position at number 5, or check that, John Gorlinski on Mike Conti. Josh Berry is here as well. This is the battle for position number 5 as Michael Conti tries to hold on to it.
Berry up on the outside, Conti down on the inside. Berry has a little bit of momentum now. We'll see if he can make that. Oh, we got trouble on the track.
Car 7 is around and car 38 involved in it as well. Chad Coleman getting involved, and Chris Main in the 38. Sparking that off corner number 4, that's the gsracing.net Tim's Corner Motorsports. Number 7, and the Spin Master, number 38, Charles Cosper involved in the Sea Giraffe, and Josh Connors is going to slide through there and get some damage to the back end of the Ultra Force Sim race car, so a multiple car incident at a corner number 4 brings out our caution flag here.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of spin, a lot of smoke, a lot of tire marks on the track, but no real heavy damage there. It's actually a pretty good job by all these guys. But it looks like Chad Coleman got into some trouble. He got a little bit loose coming off corner number 4 there, and got into another car that set them all spinning around.
And Chris Mayne apologizes for that incident to the drivers in the race server, so he's going to get back on the horse here and try to pick up some positions. He barely got into the field here this evening. Nim was the last driver to qualify in on time, so Chris Mayne, whatever positions he can gain, I'm sure would be a win for that number 38 team. So as a lot of these drivers go in and try to do the fake down onto pit road, Carson McClelland is the first on pit road from position number 9, but it's a very lonely position number 9 on pit road as there's nobody else within the top 15 down on a pit road. And speaking about doing live pit stops, Nim, you can get in the car and do live pit stops too, can't you?
I sure can, and do often as being a part of the iRacing service. Anybody can join and race and learn pit stops and learn car setups and drive and hone your craft. So if you're interested in joining us here at iRacing and you want to drive some race cars around the oval tracks or road racing, whatever your flavor, come in and join us. Go over to www.iracing.com and you can join for buy one. Right now we got a special going on, buy 1 month and get 2 free. So for the price of 1 month, you get 3 months for about $12, and you can try us out and drive a bunch of race cars and get the thrill of driving these NASCAR style cars and other types of cars on these tracks that are laser scanned and accurately reproduced.
Fair amount of cars in the back coming down into pit road under this caution flag. I believe the first may have been Carson McClelland. If that's the case, it's about 15th place or so back there, but we'll see when the scoring loops this time. We do know that Landon Harrison is the I-dog on this caution flag. He gets 1 lap back, so he will rejoin the field at the tail end. We have 38 cars being scored on the lead lap right now. Patrick Fogel, I believe, is back there as well on the lead lap, so that would make it 39. We have Chris Overland 3 laps down, Brad Davies 9 laps down. He just passed Tyler Hudson, who is back on the racetrack after connection issues. He is 9 laps behind the pace as well. Brad Wright is out of the race, 49 laps behind the pace, so I don't think that 48 car will be back out on the racetrack after the heavy damage from the first incident of this event. See if we can't grab Mike Conti on the in-car communication. Car number 5, it's Tim Terry up here in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Running in position number 6 right now. Started on the pole. That had to be big.
Yeah, barely got the pole, which was a surprise. I'm not much of a qualifier, but had a really good qualifying setup this week, so it was nice. Got some track position, and the way the car's handling right now, track position is definitely important for me. We can't make too much ground. The car's kind of a long haul car, and it just loses too much on the restarts. But overall, I'm satisfied. I'm glad I got the pole. It's nice. You know, it's really good to start up front. So that was cool.
You said the car was good on the long haul. That first 10 laps of the race, you were out by over 2 seconds. It looked like a rocket ship on the short run.
Yeah, I think I got a different strategy than most other people. I think these guys get something figured out that I gotta work on a little bit, but. You know, it is what it is. You know, the car's still pretty good for the cards I've been dealt. So I'm just gonna try to hang in here, just keep the track position, not get too much further back, and try to salvage a good finish.
Points lead. How big is the point lead in your mind right now? 63 laps into this race.
That's awesome. I'm keeping an eye on where Ray is and kind of under caution to seeing how many points I'm losing or gaining, depending on where we are relative to each other. But I'm thinking about it, but it's still really early in the season, so anything can happen. So I'm just out here to race and have fun and just bring home one piece with a good finish. Before we let you get back to racing, who makes it happen for the 5 team? New sponsor this week, gsracing.net, Scott Granberg, Great Truck League, the Bethwood, CB Photography, all the original guys that stuck on board all these years. You got DCS computers, Joe over at DCS is watching for the first time tonight, so hopefully he's enjoying this. And all the other guys that helped me with setups and all that good stuff over on iRacing, big help, and I appreciate all of it.
That's Mike Conti, driver of the number 5. Mike, we wish you all the best.
Thanks, bud.
And he will restart in position number 6. Your top 5. Robert Hall leads Ray Alfala, Nick Ottinger, Steve Sheehan, and John Gorlinski. Your top 5. Conti, Barry, Allen, Schoenberg, and John Adams has made his way up into the top 10. The First Racing Ford Mustang pace car will head to the infield this time by and leave the field in command once again of Robert Hall. Robert Hall has been spotless on these restarts thus far. Can the 30 continue the trend? Pace car is going to leave the racetrack here, and Robert Hall going to be in command of the field once again, and here he goes. Green flag flies. The 2 of Ray Alfala trying to maintain second. Here comes Steve Sheehan, a little bit of a bottleneck behind Nick Ottinger on the inside line.
Yeah, Ottinger got a little bit of a slow start. Robert Hall has been going as soon as the pace car leaves the track. That time he decided to wait a little bit as everybody was kind of expecting him to go. He didn't want to give them the advantage of letting them know what he was going to do, so he kind of held them up there a little bit. That had a couple cars bumping, but he's still able to get out to about 3 or 4 car lengths.
Side by side for position number 3, Nick Ottinger, Steve Sheehan, as they fight for a piece of real estate behind them. It's side by side, stacked 2 deep, as Michael Conti tries to hold off Barry, Gorlinski, and Allen.
Yeah, it looks like the 05 and the 6 car made some side-by-side contact. They're coming off of the tri-oval, banged a little bit, but still side-by-side, everything's still going good.
Down the back straightaway, the 5 of Mike Conti to the inside of the number 72 now. Josh Berry, the 21 of John Gorlinski, had to pull his foot out of the battle that was almost 3 wide for a time being. As you ride on the roof at John Gorlinski, you see the 72.
It looked like the 18 car got way up in the wall coming out of corner number 4 the last time. He had a little bit of contact to smash the wall.
Oh, and we have the 16 involved in this one as the caution flag will fly. Multiple car incident. Paul Kashiba was up on his side. The Pedro Mojica number 24 is also involved. Brian Blackford and Chris Overland also involved. The 32, though, was on his side. Be interested to see this replay here. You know, and I'm looking at this replay, it just looks like the 32 of Paul Kashiba. Everything was happening in front of him. Cyril Nussbaum slowed down, Carson McClellan slowed down, and the 32 just went right. And he got up into the 33 of Brian Blackford, 40 of Josh Lawton, going to have heavy damage to his race car as well. And Paul Kashiba slides on his roof down into corner number 1 on the apron, going to roll back over. And I say that might be it for tonight from Justin Brooks Designs number 32, unless they can get that car repaired.
Yeah, that was a pretty big hit. The 18 car got up in the fence and looked like everything was going to be able to continue, but these guys had to take some avoiding action, and that got everybody messed up. And Kashiba had to check up really hard, and he was going to hit the guy in front of him, so he turned right, and there was another car there, and the 33 car of Blackford was there, and that just headed both those cars head on in the wall, and that's, you know, just the worst impacts you can take in this thing, and their cars are going to be heavily damaged, if not just done for tonight.
I believe there's going to be a couple of more cars in the paddock area following this incident, as the 33 was heavily damaged. The 40 of Josh Lawton sporting some heavy damage to the front end of the Gale Force suspension number 40. He was running P25 at the time, as he is now down on pit road getting service to his Chevrolet Impala.
I was at the 16 car. It was side by side with Byron Daly coming off the corner there, and they got together in a little bit, and that set Hope up into the fence. I'm not exactly sure who's to blame there, but those two's rubbed, and that's what kind of got everybody grouped up behind them.
So a tough incident for a lot of those drivers, and you look at the drivers that are really came into this season, Nim, as favorites in this NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. The 33 of Brian Blackford finished last season really hot. He had top 5, top 10 finishes at the end of the season. And the one thing that I see that he has just said to the other drivers, he had a green car last season. Usually green on a race car is bad luck. He changed the paint scheme, and now he possibly might be going back to green in a couple of weeks. He's had a rough start to the season. Daniel Pope, as you mentioned, 10th in the point standings coming in. If he wants to have a shot at this championship, as does everybody outside the top 10 with only one drop week, you really can't afford any more bad luck right now 4 races into this season.
No, he has some bad luck, but I think he just said he's going to put green back on the car again for next season, so we'll see how that works out. But, one of the guys who has had a rough time of it this year, who is usually somebody who's a contender for the championship, is Brad Davies. Davies out of the race right now. He might be still going around track. He's 12 laps down. He's in the 42nd position, but Brad Davies still possibly a contender to get in there, but he's pretty far behind now, and he's had a pretty rough go of it at the beginning of the year.
And he sits just outside the top 5 in points heading in position number 6, 89 points compared to Conti's 125. And really, you look at the point standings right now, you have some drivers that we really didn't think, I shouldn't say didn't think we were going to be up there, but drivers that have really maybe surprised us in the first few races of the season. You have Jeremy Allen, who won Daytona, 3rd in points. You have Brian Schoenberg, who ran top 10 last season in the point standings, in 4th. You have Tyler Hudson, who has had some rough luck today with some connection issues, running 5th in the standings. So right now, it's been all about consistency. Ray Alfala's been running up front. Michael Conti's been running up front, and right now those are the 2 drivers that are battling for your championship right now. Brian Schoenberg is in 9th. Jeremy Allen's up there as well, consistent in the top 5 right now. But then you have Hudson, you have Davies, who are having tough luck. You have Pat Baldwin, who is running right now just inside the top 15 in position number 13. Richie Davidowitz has been running strong as well in position number 12. Robert Hall, of course, is leading this race. And then completing your top 10, who was just involved in that last incident, you have the 18 of Daniel Pope running in 33rd. So you have a lot of your top 10 drivers still running up in front, but a lot of those drivers that needed good runs right now aren't getting them.
Lights are out of the safety car. On lap number 71 here, we'll get the green flag to start lap number 72.
You're getting a unique view of the infield and pit road area of this racetrack, where you get to see some fantastic shots, and I'm sure we'll see some more fantastic shots throughout the evening as we come to the close of this race, and drivers will once again have to come back down pit road to get service on their race cars. Your leader continues to be the 30 of Robert Hall. Ray Alfala continues to run in seconds. A little bit of change back there for 3rd is Sheehan, Ottinger, and now Jeremy Allen in 5th. Watch Josh Berry. That car seems to be a rocket on the short run. 72 runs in position number 6. Conti, Gorlinski, Schoenberg, and King, your top 10. Pace car set to duck into the infield. Robert Hall in control of the field once again, and he is going here. Green flag flies.
Yeah, now that Robert did a little bit of a delay on that last restart, everybody's kind of waiting for me that they don't know what he's going to do. That gives him a big advantage when he takes the restart this time. He goes as soon as the pace car leaves. That gives him 4 or 5 car lengths to go down corner number 1.
And now Sheehan looks underneath his teammate, Ray Alfala. Here comes Ottinger to the outside. Nick Ottinger trying to pick up a spot, as is Jeremy Allen. Jeremy Allen trying to pick up one more spot, as the 6 is Sheehan going to fall back to at least 4th, maybe 5th.
Yeah, he got a good save there coming up corner number 2 the last time. Car got real loose on him, and he had to gather it back up, but he was able to do so and only lose a couple of positions.
Josh Berry in the mix as well as you ride on board with the number 6, the Steve Sheehan. You look out the outside, you see the 28 of Jeremy Allen. You see the 72 of Josh Berry now to the outside as they go side by side for position number 5.
Berry up on the outside, Sheehan down the inside. Berry squeezing Sheehan real close down to that white line. Sheehan able to stay down there, and it looks like Berry's got the advantage going down the front straightaway.
21 and 29 look on as well. Kevin King starts to move up to the front of this field. 29 looking good in the second half of this race as he pokes the nose underneath the number 21.
Sheehan wanted to move up in that high side, 72. Didn't want to let him have it. He gets real loose up on the outside there, able to gather it back up. 29 car coming from 32nd starting position. He's now up to the 8th spot.
Moving up through the field as Brian Schoenberg just behind this battle makes up a position on the 5. Richie Davidowitz moving up as well as the 6 and 72 continue to be side by side.
72 loose up in the outside lane. Gorlinski's going to have to back off a little bit. Gives him the bumper going down the back straightaway. That'll give the advantage to Sheehan.
You look out the rear bumper of the number 6 of Steve Sheehan, back to the 29 of Kevin King, and 72 of Josh Berry, who now goes side by side for position number 8 and 9 as Berry continues to fall back now. He's lost 2 positions back to 7th.
Gorlinski right there. He wants a lane to get by, but right now the track's blocked. King on the inside, Berry on the outside. The 72 up high on the outside. The 29 gets a little bit loose down on the load side. That'll give the advantage to Berry as they go in corner number 3.
Just in front of them, Jeremy Allen to the inside of the 05 of Nick Ottinger. They go side by side for position at number 3. Ray Alfala just ahead of this in position number 2, 28, trying to pick up the spot in the 05.
Jeremy Allen down on the inside, and that's Nick Ottinger up on the outside. Ottinger able to make that high line work earlier in the race, but right now Jeremy Allen has the advantage going down the back straightaway. Ottinger up on the outside keeps the momentum, still side by side.
29 and 55 just behind the battle as well as they got the double box up, watching the 05 and 28 and watching the battle around the number 29 of Kevin King. The 21 gets a little bit of the wall, 28 loses a spot, and here comes Steve Sheehan ready to pound. Sheehan to the inside.
Sheehan down to the inside, corner number 1 and 2. He'll pick up that spot. The 28 car will have to fall back in the 5th position.
Jeremy Allen not done yet, though. He looks back underneath the 6, now falls back behind the 6, going into corner number 3. Lap 78 being worked on the board as the 6 picks up the spot. And it looks like back here, Byron Daly starting to come to life as well. 91 on the 84, side by side for position. And look at this, here comes Josh Parker in 23.
Yeah, Parker down on the inside. We haven't seen him all night long. Now, look, he looks underneath John Adams as they go through corner number 3 and 4. Or, I'm sorry, 1 and 2.
Car number 23 of Josh Parker looking for a spot just behind him. You see the 52 of Pat Baldwin and the 9 of Thomas Hazard, another driver we haven't talked about all night long. Hazard starts to move up in the 9.
Still side by side with Hazard and Baldwin going down in corner number 1. Hazard on the inside, Baldwin on the outside as we're in the in-car with Josh Parker as he makes a move underneath the 84 car, John Adams, coming off of corner number 2, but Adams will get the momentum up on the outside and retain the position.
3GSRacing.net Chevrolets battle for spots. Byron Daly 91, 84 John Adams, 23 Josh Parker, as here comes the 52 of Patrick Baldwin to the outside, trying to get up on the outside line of Josh Parker, who currently runs in P14. Thomas Hazard in the 9, 82 Alex Warren, and here comes Michael J. Johnson, the 39 car. First time we talked about Michael all night long, up in the top 20.
Looking back from Parker's car, see Patrick Baldwin back there. Baldwin looks to the outside. He looked to the outside, could 3 and 4 that last time. Almost had a move on Parker, but Thomas Hazard right behind him. But Parker right now, 39 up in the wall a little bit there.
And he almost took the number 82 coming down the front straightaway. That's going to make the 41, or let the 41 get that position on Michael J. Johnson. And here comes the French connection as well, Cyril Nussbaum. And the Mason Baker Designs number 99 trying to move his way up closer to the front of the field than P20.
From about here, we can make it on fuel and tires. So about 52 laps from here. We saw, Steve was telling us earlier, that we can make it on 54 laps, so from this point forward, no more pit stops required, if we have any more cautions.
This was the battle when we dropped the green flag. Now it's a battle for 10th and 11th place. 5 on the inside, 55 on the outside. Michael Conti about to lose 1 position to Brian Schoenberg, and might be a couple of more here. Here comes the 91 of Byron Daly, the 84 of John Adams, also involved in this battle. Don't look now. Here comes the 23 of Josh Parker coming up to the front of the field. Michael Conti, he said that car was strong on the long run. He might need one here because falling like a rock.
Real competitive dragger tonight. Both crews, the high line, low line, a lot of drivers making them work. And we see even when they're alone, drivers choosing to run the high line instead of low line. So it all depends on how your car is set up to what track or what line you want to run. They're real bumpy down in corner number 1 and 2, so they got to be careful of that. But right now, John Adams up on the outside, and now the 23 car of Josh Parker trying to make a move on the outside of Conti as they go down the front straightaway.
You're right on board with Michael Conti, looking up at the mud jug number 84 of John Adams and the 91 of Byron Daly, and to the outside, the 23 of Josh Parker trying to pick up one more spot in the GSRacing.net Tim's Corner Motorsports. Number 23, he's going to pick up one spot.
Parker picks up a spot. Now Baldwin works to the outside of Conte through 3 and 4. Baldwin gets that position up there on the outside, and Conte stuck down on the inside. He can't use that momentum and swing the car outside all the way to the right, so he loses a little bit of momentum as they go down the front straightaway.
Ray Alfala begins to reel in Robert Hall for the lead. Nick Ottinger trying to do the same to your top 2. Your top 3 have broken away by about a half second over Steve Sheehan and Jeremy Allen. Completes your top 5 in the number 28 car, but Ray Alfala is coming on lap number 86 of 134.
This is the way we always see it. Ray Alfala, last season's champion, the 2011 NASCAR iRacing.com Drivers World Championship champion, and he's just a smart driver. It wasn't time in the race earlier to make too much of a big deal out of Robert Hall's lead, but now Ray Alfala is right there, 0.168 seconds behind your leader. Robert Hall. Hall has dominated this whole race, and Nick Ottinger now able to stay up with him. So these guys working on their cars all race long, getting down to it down the end, and they're right there.
2:05:05 of Nick Ottinger. He told me his car would be good in the long run as well prior to the race, and Nick Ottinger right now looking like that car is coming in on this longer run that we're seeing here in round number 4, as he nearly got the wall off corner number 2. Steve Sheehan, Jeremy Allen, and Josh Berry right now has a gaggle behind him as well. He's got John Gorlinski to his rear. He's got Kevin King back there as well. Richie Davidowitz and Brian Schoenberg complete your top 10.
On the roof cam with Nick Ottinger looking ahead there to Ray Alfala as they go through corner number 1 and 2. Ottinger still running a little bit higher than Alfala, but Alfala follows him up the track a little bit right there. I think these guys are working really hard trying to stay with Robert Hall. Robert Hall stretching it out just a little bit now, about 3 or 4, maybe 5 car lengths as they go through 3 and 4.
Ottinger trying to reel in Ray Alfala. Alfala loses a little bit of ground that time to Robert Hall, but not by much. Here comes Byron Daly being told in the number 91. He's going to move up one more spot into position number 11. He's got Brian Schoenberg just in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like Daly gets a little bit loose coming off of 2 right now, and that lets the 84 car, John Adams, back underneath as they go through 3 and 4.
John Adams back underneath. Here comes the number 23 of Josh Parker. Parker looking to make it a 3-car battle for position number 11, just outside the top 10, as these 3 GSRacing.net Chevrolets battle for position.
Parker up on the outside. He's trying to make that high line work, as we've seen so many drivers do tonight. John Adams down the inside. John's, you know, he's a pretty laid-back kind of guy. It's actually kind of contrary to his personality, but when he gets in the car, he's pretty smart about it. And right there, you saw 23 car, you know, was up there, challenge on the outside. He gave him plenty of room, and he's able to fight for that position, but not put either car at risk.
And you know, John Adams just joined a brand new team here a couple of weeks ago, Flipside Motorsports. The first race with that team was the Chicagoland race. Went from MC Racing over to Flipside Motorsports, the same team that Alex Warren and Chris Overland are running on. And it seems like that he's been adapting fairly well, running in the top 15 as he slides in behind Josh Parker in the number 23 as we continue to run here on lap number 92.
A 38 car just pitted, took on a couple of tires there last time by, so he's going to lose a little bit of time, but we'll see what kind of strategy he's on. As the driver, everybody on the track will need to make a pit stop before the end of the race. So Chris maybe short pitting now, trying to pick up some spots later on in the race.
And with Chris falling a lap down, we now have 34 drivers on the lead lap right now, as the last driver on the lead lap, Daniel Pope II, is on the same straightaway as your leaders as they work into corner number 1 and 2 right now.
Looks like Robert Hall is maybe you heard us talking about him a little bit, but he's starting to put that pedal down, and he's starting to stretch out that lead a little bit, up to about a half a second over your second place car of Ray Alfalla. Then it's back about 2/10 from Alfalla to Ottinger, and then the gap back to Sheehan's about a second and a half.
Justin Thompson has been on pit road to take 4 tires on the number 98 car, so that will put him in P34 right now, top 33. Currently on the lead lap, and here comes Nick Ottinger. Ottinger on the back of Ray Alfalla. Looks like this might be the time to pounce before the pit stops possibly do happen here. The 05 trying to track down that 2.
Working lap number 95, finished lap number 95 that time by. Working lap number 96 right now. 134 the total laps of the race. So these guys will probably, I think they have about 20 laps or so before they'll have to pit compared to our last caution flag. But that'll still give them some time, a lot of green flag laps towards the end of this race. But if we do see green flag pit stops, you're only going to see these guys taking on two tires and probably a half a tank of fuel, and maybe some adjustments to the wedge to compensate for the weight difference. But it's going to be pretty quick stops if you see them coming up.
Paul Kashiba has officially retired from this race. The 32 car will be credited with a 40th place finish on this race this evening. Leaders about to encounter some lap traffic, or they just did, as Daniel Pope II goes 1 lap down. And just looking back here, we saw Michael Conti fall through the field here, Nim. He is currently running in P16 right now. So your point leader, P16, Ray Alfalla second in points, currently P2.
Yeah, he's struggling right now, and as we had him in here earlier, and he was talking to us live on the broadcast. He was talking about how he was looking at Ray and looking at the difference in the points, but right now I'm sure he's looking at it and thinking, well, it's not so much of a point lead anymore, as right now he runs in the 16th position, Ray up in the 2nd position. I'm not sure if Ray's led a lap today, but that's about a 14-point difference, and we see that would put Ray Alfalla in the lead if the race ended at this moment.
And sometimes it's easier to look at those point standings if you're a couple of points behind and play the chaser rather than being the chased or the hunted in that case. So we'll have to see how that plays out. We still have 36 laps to go in this race. There could be a lot that happens, and at least one more pit stop as well, as Richie Davidowitz moved up as well to position number 7. 55 is battling with the number 91 of Byron Daly. Daly moving up through the field, as is the 23 of Josh Parker. So the GSRacing.net drivers moving up through the field now.
Yeah, a lot of single file back through the field right now as they work their way by Daniel Pope, but everybody gets worked by there fine. But the bumper cam on the 55 car looking back at Byron Daly, but he's not able to make it past this time by.
Here comes John Gorlinski on the pit road. Gorlinski in the number 21, going to be the first to peel off, and I checked that. Here comes Steve Sheehan as well, just in front of him. Green flag pit stops happening here on lap 100.
We'll see if they take on 2 tires. Probably will. Start of end of lap number 100, start of lap 101. So 34 laps to go from here, but 2 tires and about a half a can of fuel or so for these guys.
At the other end, Ray Alfalla going to come on to pit road in the Pro Geek Consulting at number 2, as he is going to hit pit road and going to slow it down to 45 miles an hour as he gets it woed down. Josh Berry also coming on to pit road in the number 72. I believe that the flip side drivers may have been down the last time by as well. Alex Warren just coming off of pit road.
Sheehan got out a little bit behind these other guys. I believe he might have took 4 tires, so we'll have to go back and check. But Sheehan possibly, yeah, Sheehan took 4 tires on that pit stop, where most everybody else has taken 2. So we'll have to see how that works for him.
Nick Ottinger in the 05, now on to pit road from position number 2. Jeremy Allen going to follow him down as well. Robert Hall continues to stay out on the racetrack. He is scored as your leader on lap 103 as Nick Ottinger brings a couple of cars down.
These drivers have to go around on the apron in corner number 1 and 2. They can't merge up on the track until they hit the back straightaway, so that's why you see everybody going around the apron, corner number 1 and 2. We do have live officials in the race, and if they see anybody merging too early, the drivers will get a black flag. So everybody has to stay on the apron until they get around corner number 1 and 2, and at a certain point that the officials told the drivers that they could merge in the drivers meeting, they have to make sure they're beyond that point before they do.
84 car will pit from position number 5. That is John Adams. Robert Hall continues to stay out on the racetrack. Kevin King, Byron Daly, Josh Parker, and now Thomas Hazard are your top 5. Does the 30 come in this time by? No, he does not. Robert Hall stays out on the racetrack. Kevin King is being hotly pursued by Byron Daly and Josh Parker as they run 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
A lot of cars out there on fresh tires now, very fast. Some cars out there on some not so fresh tires, some older tires. They are a little bit slower, so these guys got to be really careful on how they approach traffic and how they approach each other as they go through 3 wide. There's Sheehan and Gorlinski around some slower traffic.
30 car continues to stay out as he puts another lap on Josh Lawton, and the number 40 Lawton has had damage from a previous incident on the racetrack. Top 5 continue to stay out on the racetrack with Jake Sturgis just behind them in position number 6. Cyril Nussbaum and Michael J. Johnson also battling for position 99 and 39. That is at P7.
Looking at the 2nd, 3rd place car of Kevin King and the 91 car of Byron Daly right there. Kevin King currently running 2nd. He's 4.5 seconds behind the leader, Byron Daly, right behind him running in the 3rd place. Your Robert Hall is your leader. He has not pitted, and he's going to be definitely losing a little bit of time here. He had about half a second to play with in front of the other cars before they made their pit stop, and we'll see how far this might delay him being back in traffic here.
To put everything in perspective right now, Ray Alfala just passed Cyril Nussbaum and Michael J. Johnson like they were standing still back at about, well, Ray's in P21 right now. Cyril and Michael are back here at about P7. And look at Nick Ottinger now in the 05. Let's see if we can't get a camera on the 05. This is what fresh tires will do. Underneath the number 39, and he'll look at the number 99 likely at a turn 2.
Yeah, and this is one of the issues at your lead car. Robert Hall dominated the whole race long, and this is where, you know, guys like Alfala are so smart. Alfala pitted, and Alfala is out there running laps way faster than leader right now. And before the pit stops, Robert Hall only had about a half a second lead. So by the time Robert Hall pits, you know, he comes back out, Alfala is going to have that difference already taken up. So we'll have to see how it works. But if I was Robert Hall, I'd be getting in the pits as soon as possible here.
To put it in perspective, Ray is running laps in the 30.4 second bracket. Robert's running laps in the 30.7 second bracket. So you're looking at about 0.3 of a second between those 2 drivers. The 30 continues to stay out on the racetrack this time by, and maybe you would have to think, you know, maybe if I catch a caution flag, some of these drivers coming down pit road, somebody makes a mistake. If you're Robert Hall, maybe I can catch Ray Alfala and Nick Ottinger a lap down.
Yeah, it's not as simple, as we make it sound. We might, we talk like, Robert needs to be getting in the pits right here, but there's risks to that. If Robert pits right now and the caution comes out, he could be a lap down. Now, he's the leader and has a little bit more advantage over the rest of the field, but he still could be a lap down. And one thing you got to be careful of is, you don't want to get yourself caught like that. So you got to choose a strategy and you got to stay with it. But if we go caution-free, this is going to hurt Robert's chances to win this race.
And you look at Ray Alfala right now in the number 2 car. He's running 2nd in the point standings, maybe a little more cautious. Same thing with Michael Conti back there. He came down pit road. Robert Hall right now runs P9 in the point standings. If he wants a chance at this championship, sometimes you have to take risks in order to get those big points. And right now I think Robert Hall is doing that. Staying out, trying to lead laps, get an extra point as he comes on to pit road right here. The number 30 of Robert Hall coming down.
He pits with about 24 laps to go in the race for himself, so he'll pit. And one advantage that he will have from now as the other cars are out making laps and will probably be passing him like Alfala. But now, after his pit stop, Robert Hall will have the fresher tires, and he'll be the one gaining on Alfala. We'll have to see how much of an advantage that is, and we'll have to see how much time he's lost in staying out this long, but it should be interesting. We'll have to see that interval when he comes back out.
Two right side going on the number 30 of Robert Hall, looking to see, no, he's going to take 2 tires only. He is down and away. Kevin King and Byron Daly continue to stay out on the racetrack. They complete 112, and Daly is chasing King.
Robert Hall, a 5.4 second pit stop, very quick, 2 tires, excellent pit stop for him. So it's about the same as Ray Alfala, and we'll see how they come out on the track together.
Ray Alfala gets out in front of Robert Hall, and Ray Alfala, keep in mind, still 1 lap down, not anymore. Kevin King and Byron Daly come on to pit road here, and the number 2 of Ray Alfala will get his lap back. Thomas Hazard also coming on to pit road, top 3. Now on to pit road, Jake Sturgis shown as your leader.
Yeah, Sturgis' leader. These guys will have to cycle through. Still a lot of cars need to make their pit stops. Cyril Nussbaum, Michael Johnson, Marcus Lindsay, Vinny Sansone out, Chad Coleman. But you know, what we're interested in right now is if everything stays green, it's going to cycle back to Alfala, Ottinger, and Robert Hall. So we'll have to see how that works out. And Robert Hall is quite a ways back from Alfala right now.
And Robert Hall currently stuck 1 lap down, but he is on the outside of Cyril Nussbaum at position number 2. He's got Jake Sturgis just in front of him, so he's going to try to unlap himself from the racetrack. Robert Hall, though, has a lot of time to make up if this race stays green to the end of the event. 1:15 being worked on the board right now. 41 is your leader, and here comes Robert Hall underneath him. So Robert Hall gets himself back on the lead lap as Jake Sturgis continues to lead.
Car number 52 is in trouble. Patrick Baldwin on the front straightaway, and then around goes Josh Parker.
The 23 of Josh Parker involved, and man, that just adds to the season that Josh Parker has had. Had such a good run going here, and he is on the front straightaway with a tore-up car. I was about to say, Nim, back in 2010, Sandeep Banerjee was a surprise winner of this race. We're not done by any stretch of the imagination, but Jake Sturgis is out in front of this field. Michael J. Johnson, Marcus Lindsay, Vinny Sansone, and Chad Coleman are your top 5 as you see the replay rolling.
Yeah, it looked like Patrick just got up. He thought he had a slower car or lap car cleared, but he didn't. And he got up into that car and then got down into Josh Parker. Josh Parker went spinning around, and we'll have to see if Josh, he's gotten the wall pretty heavy too. So we'll have to see how much damage to those cars there are. But this will get there's a lot of interesting strategies now because there's some cars out there that didn't pit and then some that did that are still in the lead lap. So we're going to have how this sorts out, but it should cycle around after some of these cars pit back to the 3 guys that Ottinger, Alfala, and Hall.
If you're doing the track strategy game or the track position game, you would expect Ray Alfala, Nick Ottinger, maybe Cyril Nussbaum, and Robert Hall to stay out on the racetrack as they are on the lead lap. Everybody else in front of them, I do not believe, came down pit road. And as you see, Jake Sturgis now come on to pit road. That's going to leave maybe 4 or 5 drivers possibly out in the racetrack playing the strategy game. This is going to be exciting coming down to the end of this one as Jake Sturgis going to hit his pit box in the number 41.
Looks like Alfala and Ottinger will also make their pit stops. Robert Hall also comes down. They'll probably take on tires that they didn't pick up before. Maybe they'll take 4 from here. But this is an advantage for those guys that stayed out. Sturgis and Lindsay and those guys who stayed out, they'll be able to make their pit stops. Oh, and we got a little bit of trouble between Sturgis and the 05 on pit road there a little bit. But those guys who stayed out are going to cycle through in front of the drivers who pitted. So it's going to be interesting.
As Sturgis comes off pit road first, you have to look at John Gorlinski right now. He gets the eye dog. He's back on the lead lap. But with all those drivers coming down pit road, and that's the one thing that I really didn't expect to see, Nim. I would have thought Ray Alfala or somebody would have stayed out on the racetrack because you got at least 2 wave-around cars right now. Those 2 wave-around cars include the 84 of John Adams, the 55 of Brian Schoenberg. I believe the 98 of Justin Thompson is behind this packet as well. Indeed, he is. Michael Conti will get back on the lead lap. Steve Sheehan will get back on the lead lap, as will Jeremy Allen, as will Josh Berry, Richie Davidowitz, Patrick Baldwin, Alex Warren, Kevin King is in this line here. Thomas Hazard, Chris Overland, Carson McCullen, these guys all standing to get a lap back because everybody came down pit road, unless these guys do decide to get pit stops done here. Byron Daleks, Maine, Connor McKenzie, Josh Parker, and Daniel Pope II looking for the leader, and then the next leader, car in line, is your leader of Jake Sturgis. So there's a lot of drivers here that are standing to get one lap back with the wave around. I expected at least one of those drivers to possibly play the track position game. I guess I was wrong. I guess that's why I'm up here.
Yeah, I'm really surprised too. I would have thought that those guys who just pitted would have stayed out, and I'm just as surprised as you are. And not only does it do that, but it puts them back in position. As we just saw a replay of Ottinger and the contact he had on pit road, we're getting some reports that possibly caused some damage to the toe on his car. So Ottinger in a little bit of trouble here late. But I agree with you, Tim. Ray Alfala now, instead of being up front in kind of a safe spot, you know what happens here with just a few laps to go. We're going to have some cautions. We're going to have some craziness going on. And now Alfala and those guys, Robert Hall, and those guys fighting for it, are now going to be back right in the war zone. So they should have been up front and needed to be up front. And I'm really surprised as you are that they decided to pit.
Just going to throw this out here. The top 10 in this field have never won a NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship race. Jake Sturgis, Michael Johnson, Marcus Lindsay, Brandon Bookberger, Chad Coleman, Charles Cosper, Robert Hall, Landon Harrison, Andrew Fayash III, and Josh Connors. As we mentioned before, in 2010, this was the track that Sandeep Banerjee got his only win at last season. It was Brad Davies getting the victory. And I keep going back to that Pro Series race that we had here back in the off-season of this NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Fantastic side-by-side racing. Alex Warren, Pat Baldwin, Michael Conti. I think we might very well see another fantastic finish to this one, and we might very well see a first-time winner if, as you mentioned, we get some caution flags here at the end of this race. Track position could be very, very key.
Looks like the lights are out on the safety car. Lap number 119. Robert Hall up in the 7th spot. He's fared the best out of all the cars that pitted. Actually, back maybe 7th or 8th spot. I think he's down the 7th since he'll be on the inside here. But as this restart goes, Alfala will be in 11th. Robert Hall up in 8th. Jake Sturgis, your leader, Michael Johnson in 2nd. As you said, Tim, these guys have never won a race before here, and they're all going to go very hard. So we'll see how this all works out. And a lot of the guys up front just took 2 tires. Now we have Alfala and Hall back there. They have 4 freshies on, so we'll see how they get through the field.
You're watching the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship round number 4 from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Tim Terry and Nim Cross here calling all the action for you. Just keep in mind here, Nim, going back to that first-time winner thing, we have a lot of drivers at the end of the longest line, by the way, as I'm looking at the camera down the back straightaway. Looking at the one of Marcus Lindsay, he won races in the Pro Series, so if there's anybody maybe not prone to the pressure, the number 1 car, Marcus Lindsay, might very well be the driver to watch here on this restart. It's Sturgis, Johnson, Lindsay, Bookberger, Coleman. Top 5 pace car going to head to the safety of the infield. The 41 going to lead the 39 to the green flag. 14 laps to go, and we're back underway.
Looks like we got a good start down through the front of the field anyway. Sturgis off to about 4 car lengths over Michael Johnson, Marcus Lindsay, and I was thinking the same thing too there, Tim, as Lindsay has the guy out in the top 5 here that has the most experience in winning, as back in the pack, Robert Hall trying to make some positions, and Lindsay, as we talk about him, he's up on the fence coming off corner number 2.
Chad Coleman to the inside, Charles Cosper to the inside. They're going to pick up spots. Here comes Robert Hall. Robert Hall in the number 30, one of the fastest drivers in this pack, as is the 2 of Ray Alfala and the 05 of Nick Ottinger. They are the class in the field so far, and they are mowing them down as they come to the front of the field. But Robert Hall still has 6 cars to pass if he wants to take away the victory.
Everybody gets through as nicely as Ray Alfala up on the outside, going down the back straightaway. He's fighting with the 89 car of Landon Harrison going down in corner number 3 4. He's able to make that work up on the outside. Looks like Ottinger car is not too badly damaged from that pit road incident. He's up on the outside coming off corner number 4.
The yellow flag is out.
Caution is out on the speedway as we'll slow these drivers down again. Being told him that the 5 of Mike Conti involved in this one, in the 84 of John Adams. 84 of John Adams gets down on the apron as he was battling with Vinny Sansone and Brian Schoenberg, and he tried to save it. John Adams tried to save it off the back end of the number 80 of Vinny Sansone, but couldn't do anything with it, and Michael Conti gets swept up in this. Heavy damage maybe to the back end of that race car. I'm not sure how much suspension is going to be affected with that one, as the 72 with Josh Berry gets heavy damage, as does Steve Sheehan, 2 drivers earlier that were up at the front.
Yeah, it looks like John Adams got in trouble, and these other guys were hoping he was going to save it as they tried to slow up a little bit, but they kind of came barreling through there, and I'm not sure if that was I think it was Jeremy Allen in there. He got in the back of the 72 and actually pushed some of these guys into it. So we'll see what happens there. 72 actually got in the back of the 6 car also. So a lot of damage there and a lot of heavy impacts up in corner number 4.
That's definitely going to change the complexity of some of these drivers and the runs that they were having, as we talked about that green flag run, putting so many drivers a lap down, then the wave around putting so many drivers back on the lead lap. We had 33 drivers on the lead lap at the time of caution. We're going to have 34 now, as Justin Thompson is going to get the wave around. He'll be back on the lead lap, but big implication for points as well. Michael Conti involved in that one. Brian Schoenberg back there as well, I believe, may have gone through that. He's in position number 4 in the point standings. So there's a lot of guys right in the middle of that. Steve Sheehan is trying to mount a charge to the front of the points picture. He's had a tough start to this season as well. There's a lot of drivers that had some damage in that are going to have to rally back in these last few laps.
Yeah, no doubt. Jake Sturgis still your leader out front. Michael Johnson still second. Brandon Birchberger moves his way up in the 3rd position. Robert Hall back in 7th, who's dominated most of this race. He wasn't able to make up any spots on that last restart. Ray Alfala makes up 3 positions from the 11th spot. He's now in the 8th position, so we'll see if he can move his way back up a little bit more. Jake Sturgis, though, out front, he loves these caution flags. This time by, we'll have 10 laps to go, and 1 or 2 more cautions, and he'll have his first win here in the NASCAR iRacing.com Drivers World Championship.
Quickly, before we go back to green, let's talk to Steve Sheehan, driver, the number 6. He sits on pit road right now. Steve, what happened?
It looked like John Adams got loose in the turn 3. I couldn't see why, but he got really loose in the turn 3, and he kind of was just trying to collect it up through 3 and 4, and everybody was checking up for him, and I think he ended up just not being able to hold on to it. I got hit from behind. I don't know who I got hit from. Just not much I could do there.
How bad's the damage in the race car?
Oh man, well, we for anybody that's new, we get, you know, a certain amount of time that pops up. We get a required and an optional. I had 2 minutes. I have 2 minutes of required repairs. I'm not allowed on the track before 2 minutes is done, and after that I have 10.5 more minutes of optional. So I'm gonna let this 2 minutes repair, and then I'm gonna go, and hope they keep wrecking until the end. Just a frustrating end to the race here.
It's been a tough start to the season for this number 6 team. Steve, before we let you go, we'll let you have the opportunity to thank everybody that helps you get to the virtual track each week. Who makes it happen for the 6?
Oh, you guys see Spyropic on the hood, and Team JRM, and iRacing and PSR TV for, you know, helping these shows get out to interested viewers, and we'll keep trucking along. Ray may have a pretty good points lead here coming out of this one, because Conti was right in front of me. He got collected as well, and he's the points leader, so we'll see what happens.
That's Steve Sheehan, driver of the number 6. Steve, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, guys.
As he gets ready to head back to the racetrack to complete this race in the racetrack, we're going to have 8 laps to go when we go back to green flag racing. 1:26 is being worked on the board, and the lights are out atop the first racing Ford Mustang pace car. Okay, Nim, do we see a first-time winner here? Sturgis, Johnson, Bookberger, Coleman, Cosper, Lindsay, Hall, top 7 have never won a NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship race.
I think we do see a first-time winner. You know, with the way it's gone, even if it does go green, the guys are still pretty strong up front. The question is, who's it going to be? Now, your current point leader, Michael Conti, as Steve said, was in that wreck, and we documented that. He is currently running back in the 27th position. Ray Alfala up in the 8th position. So a 19-point difference right now. That'll definitely point Alfala up in the point lead. So Conti having a rough day of it today.
And as Steve said, that could be a big point lead for Ray Alfala. Looking to see where Jeremy Allen is running right now. Jeremy Allen's running all the way back in 17th place. So this could be a big point lead for Ray Alfala. Brian Schoenberg is running in P16 right now, so he's not much better. And, of course, Tyler Hudson has had those electrical problems. He's multiple laps down in the back of the field. So this could be huge for the 2011 NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship champion. But we're not done yet. He runs in position number 8 in the middle of this hornet's nest right now. He's got 7 strong cars in front of him should he want to win this race. Pace car going to head to pit road here. Jake Sturgis and Michael J. Johnson going to lead this field back to green flag competition. Sturgis puts the hammer down. Great start for the top 2. We're back underway.
Green flag, green flag.
Real slow start for Brandon Bushberger there. Sturgis gets a nice, good jump out front by about 5 car lengths. 39 car of Michael J. Johnson falls in line in the second position. And right behind them, we got a battle for the 6th spot.
Chad Coleman tried to give the 0-3 a little bit of help. Here comes Marcus Lindsay on the outside. He gets into the wall as, the 28 up and over Jeremy Allen. Wild ride down the back straightaway. We're going to be back under caution.
46 car Carson McClellan may also be involved in this. It looked
After winning at Daytona, he gets a little bit of help, and I believe, Nim, he may have a little bit of help from the 29, but that car was all kinds of sideways before the 29 got into him as he goes for a wild ride down the back straightaway. I believe he was trying to avoid the 25 in front of him, and the 29, Kevin King, gets into the back of him.
Yeah, it looked like he washed up the track. He maybe lost some air on the car or whatever happened, but he washed up the track, and he almost got into the 25 car, Richie Davidowitz. He hit the brakes, and the 29 car had nowhere to go. He got in the back of him and sent him around. The 10 car, real heavy damage into the 28 car there. Carson McClellan goes spinning back after he had contact with the 10 car, and he made heavy damage with the inside wall. But
so after winning at Daytona... And Jeremy Allen car heavily damaged after winning at Daytona, being up in front of the point standings, and now he was third coming in, and it seems like you don't really want to be in front of the point standings right now. You have Jeremy Allen having issues. You had Michael Conti involved in the last caution. Brian Schoenberg is moving up through the field, albeit a little bit slower in P15. Obviously, Tyler Hudson's had problems this evening, and Ray Alfala is probably going to come out of this smelling like a rose, even with P8 right now. He's likely going to come out with the point lead. So this is it's looking pretty good right now for Ray Alfala. The other drivers that were up in front, near the front of the point standings, having some rough luck.
Yeah, you know, we have a lot of good drivers in the series, and we'll see a lot of different winners all season long. But Ray Alfala, last year's champion, the 2011 champion, is an incredibly fast driver, and he's incredibly smart. And we're seeing it in this race. You know, he's back there a little bit, but he hasn't put a wheel wrong all night. He hasn't put his car in danger all night long. And we'll see this all season long. Ray Alfala will be fast. He'll be safe. He'll bring home the finishes. He'll even bring home some wins. And, he's going to be hard to beat, I bet, for this championship this season.
Chris Overland gets the I-Dog. That should put the 47 back on the lead lap after being 5 laps down at the start of this race due to some electrical issues with the GSRacing.net Chevrolet. He's going to be back in 32nd position as he has... he should pick up a couple of positions here with a couple of drivers that are damaged at the rear of this pack, as it looks like Jeremy Allen has had his chat disabled in the server, so he might have said something that was probably not good. So he will go without chat privileges for the end of the evening. Pace car lights, I believe, may be going out next time by, so we still have a couple of laps under this caution flag. It is Jake Sturgis out in front, Michael Johnson, Brandon Buchberger, Charles Cosper, and Chad Coleman complete your top 5. Let's take the opportunity now, since we're under caution, to step away for just a few moments' time and bring you back to what should be a very exciting finish of this race. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we are getting ready to see some action to close this event. This will be the final restart of this race. We'll go back green with 1:31 completed. So we'll have 3 laps remaining in this race. Jake Sturgis, Michael Johnson, Brandon Bookberger, Charles Cosper, Chad Coleman, your top 5. Your champ, Ray Alfala, runs in 8th, Robert Hall runs in 7th, and Nick Ottinger runs in 9th. Those are the 3 drivers that have really been the class of the field here this evening, then.
Yeah, they really have, and it's going to be quite a shootout here to the end. Jake Sturgis never won a race. Michael Johnson never won a race. They're on your front row. Brandon Bushberger right behind him. And the inside, Charles Cosper on the outside. They've never won a race. Right behind him, Chad Colby and Marcus Lindsay. They've never won a race. And you got Robert Hall right behind them.
Here we go. Jake Sturgis in the number 41, trying to win his first ever NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship event. Michael Johnson in the Fast Track Sims number 39, trying to do the same. Bookberger, Cosper, Coleman, top 5. Here comes the green. We are back underway, and the 41 puts the hammer down. Great start by Jake Sturgis.
Yeah, 39 car, Michael J. Johnson. He tried to anticipate a little bit. Jake Sturgis saw that. He went as soon as he backed off. Now Bushberger is down the inside. He's going to pick up that position or battle side by side with Johnson as they come off corner number 2. And we have trouble in the back straightaway.
We have trouble in the back as a bunch of cars are involved, and this should hand the win to Jake Sturgis in the number 41. Michael J. Johnson second, Brandon Bookberger third, Cosper and Coleman your top 5. There is a huge mount in the back straightaway.
Yeah, it looks like it might have started around the 55 car and the 51 car, Patrick Fogel, and another car. It looks like Fogel got in the back of somebody, as maybe they washed up in front. I'm not sure there, but the 51 car and the 15 car started with them, and a lot of drivers spinning down the back straightaway.
So that is going to put some drivers in some positions that they didn't think they would be at the end of this race. Your top 10 the last time by the scoring loop: Jake Sturgis, Michael J. Johnson, Brandon Bookberger, Charles Cosper, Chad Coleman, top 5. Marcus Lindsay going to finish in 6th unofficially. Robert Hall, Ray Alfala, Nick Ottinger, and Landon Harrison, the Viper Technologies, number 89, comes home in 10th. Cyril Nussbaum, Andrew Fash, the third, Brian Schoenberg, John Gorlinski, Kevin King unofficially right now, your top 15. White flag is in the air, and Jake Sturgis is 1.5 miles away from his first ever NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship victory.
I wonder what the odds on Jake Sturgis was at the beginning of this race, since we're racing here in Vegas. Where Tim, I bet you somebody won a lot of money tonight.
And Sturgis, after clawing his way into this series and barely missing, I believe, one show at the start of the season, he's now going to go to victory lane. Of course, this is going to help his points efforts. And keep in mind, a lot of these drivers, especially, I know Brandon Bookberger, I believe, barely missed Daytona. There's a lot of these drivers up here. That top 25 bubble in the point standings, you have to be in the top 25 at the end of this season if you want to race in the 2013 edition of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Some of these guys are going to look back to Las Vegas and say, this was the race that got me in the top 25.
Yeah, no doubt. This one will mix things up quite a bit. A lot of new drivers up front that we usually don't see. Jake Sturgis is currently 45th in points. Takes home the win tonight, so that'll definitely help him out. And remember, a lot of these guys just want to make the top 25 in points or do the best they can, but at least make the top 25 in points so they don't have to requalify for this series next season. Michael Conte, this glass caution works in his favor. He was able to make it through that mess on the back straightaway. He'll bring it home in a 20th position if he's able to finish out these caution laps.
Checkers are in the wind. Jake Sturgis, the number 41 car, going to go to victory lane here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He is sponsored by Cyborg as he comes out of 4 down the front straightaway, and he will go to victory at Las Vegas. Michael J. Johnson comes home in 2nd. Brandon Bookberger 3rd. Charles Cosper and Chad Coleman, your top 5. Great to see a veteran like Chad Coleman and also Charles Cosper. They've been in this series for a couple of seasons. They are going to get top 5 finishes from this event. What a finish to this race.
Yeah, real good finish. Jake Sturgis getting congratulations, a bunch of 4Xs from a lot of his friends out there. And if you're new to iRacing or not really a member yet, a 4X is when somebody comes up and bangs on your door. You get some incident points for that. But he's not real worried about that right now. Jake Sturgis celebrating his first win here in the NASCAR iRacing.com Drivers World Championship.
So number 41 will come back, and I'm sure he'll do a little bit of celebrating here on the front straightaway. Jake Sturgis comes up at a 4, and he will light it up here for the fans of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We remind you to stay tuned for the post-race show where we will talk to your top 5 finishers, including car number 41 of Jake Sturgis, as he is going to light it up here on the front straightaway at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He's going to go in the grass here, I guess. No, he's going to do the Legends Oval on the front straightaway. He's going to try to find Victory Lane here at the racetrack. I'm not sure, did they tell him where Victory Lane was? No, I guess he's exited the world, so he's not going to find Victory Lane at this point. Stay tuned, race fans. Top 5 post-race show coming up.
Here's a winner. Jeremy Allen is Richard Taylor. The rookie trying to grab his first win. And the true NASCAR champion is Richard Taylor. Here's a winner. Number 7 of Richard Power. RT is $10,000 Richard.
Welcome back to PSR TV and iRacing Live and the live coverage of round number 4 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Top 10, Jake Sturgis, Michael J. Johnson, Brandon Bookberger, Charles Cosper, Chad Coleman, Marcus Lindsay, Robert Hall, Ray Alfala, Nick Ottinger, and Landon Harrison, your top 10. As we're going to look at some replays here to close off the final few laps of this event. Nim, what a race down to the finish.
It was actually a really good race. We saw a lot of different things happening up front in the beginning of the race before the guys made their pit stops. And then after that, we saw Robert Hall pretty much dominate the race. There's some late cautions threw some monkey wrenches in while, some green flag pit stops are going on. So we had green flag pit stops, a lot of good runs. And, that threw a good monkey wrench into Robert Hall's plans and Ray Alfala's plans to the end. But Jake Sturgis plays his cards right and strategies it right. He gets a win and in the number 41 car, and he'll take it over Michael Johnson.
We're going to show a quick replay before we go down to victory lane. Unofficially, Ray Alfala will take the point lead over Michael Conti, and we'll get the points sorted out in just a few moments' time because it's a mess right now with where everybody finished, but Ray did finish in position number 8. Michael Conti finished position number 20. Jeremy Allen was flying down the back straightaway at the end of the race. Let's go down to victory lane now with Nim Cross, and your winner of the 2012 NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship round number 4 from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Jake Sturgis. Nim.
Jake Sturgis brings her home first at Las Vegas here today. Tell us about your race, Jake.
Well, it's only my second start in a oval Drivers World Championship. Usually I'm out there on the road courses in the F1 cars. This is totally different.
Jake, you were running middle pack to the back of the pack most of the race. You had a great strategy there to stay out as long as you could on those tires. That took you to the front. Tell us about that strategy.
After racing in the Pro Series, it seemed like every time we had green flag stops, they'd get cut short by a caution or something would happen. So I learned just stay out as long as you got the fuel, and I was about 10 laps short from the end, and was so glad to see that yellow. Came down, got 4 tires, a little bit of fuel, and nobody could catch me.
Did it surprise you when those guys who made their green flag pit stops already also pitted under that yellow, and you were able to keep your track position?
Well, not too surprised, because they went about 5 or 10 laps on their tires, and the tires are really important at this track.
So you bring it home here in first place. That's got to help your championship run here. I'm sure you want to finish top 25 in points. From 45th, this should take you up to about close to there.
Oh, well, I haven't even thought about that yet. Phoenix was the only other race I qualified into. I DNQ'd the other 2, so to come out and get a win's pretty impressive. But at the start of the season, the goal I set was just go out and have fun, not even worry about the points, and take it to the Pro Series at the end of the year.
Well, now you're a NASCAR iRacing.com Drivers World Championship winner. You're an official NASCAR winner. Nobody could take away that from you. You always be listed that here at Vegas. Tell us how that feels.
Wow, I feel just like Sandeep felt back in 2010. Well, probably not quite like that, but it's pretty amazing. I always thought I'd win on the road courses first. To come and win on the oval is just totally unexpected.
How's this win compared to one of your super wins?
To be honest, this is probably a little bit better. The competition here is so high, and you really got to drive the car as hard as you can, and it's a long, long race. Those super races only 20 laps. It's 134. It's a lot more difficult.
Well, Jake had the quickest lap of the race on lap number 122. I'm sure you're glad to hear that also. Also mentioned, for those of you who don't know what a super is, it's a real-world short-track race car that Jake drives. Jake, congratulations on your win. Tell us who makes it happen for you.
Thanks, Nim. It's the guys over at Lastro Motorsports. My brother, PJ Sturgis, Brandon Butchberger, Vinny Sansone, Joe Quinn. Those are the main guys we work with. Big thanks to them for helping on the setup, and my team, Western Wolves, and our sponsor, Sapphire, Cyborg, and Mad Cats.
Outstanding job tonight, Jake. Jake Sturgis, your NASCAR iRacing.com Drivers World Championship winner here at Las Vegas. We'll send it up to Tim Terry with Michael Johnson.
A driver that came close at the end was car number 39, Michael Johnson, coming home in position number 2. Second place. This has to feel awesome.
Yeah, I just stayed out under that long green run, and luck fell our way this week, getting a caution there. We was going to go with a stop and go, but it all worked out in our favor this week.
Looking back at that long green flag run, that 39 looked to be one of those drivers that was coming up through the field. It seemed like the long run was the best segment of the race for the 39 car.
Yeah, once we got spread out there, the car, it come in after about 15 to 20 laps, hooked up, and was able to make the middle in turns 1 and 2 work to make some passes.
Now, second place has to change the momentum of this season around a little bit. We head to Texas in 2 weeks' time. Can we duplicate the second place finish and maybe move one spot up on the podium?
I was sure going to give it a try with the Fast Track Sims, Gale Force Racing, Chevy.
And you mentioned the 2 sponsors there. If there's anybody else you want to thank for getting you to the virtual track each week, or anybody out there you want to say hello to on iRacing Live, the mic is all yours.
Oh yeah, got to thank all the guys at Gale Force Racing. Nick, Tyler, Josh, Kale, Jared, Jason, Rich, probably leaving some guys out. Just got to thank all those guys for all the hard work they do each week.
Michael Johnson comes home in the second place position. Want to thank Michael for joining us here on the post-race show. Gale Force Racing finishes in position number 2. Want to kick it over to Nim Cross, who has caught up with our third place finisher, Brandon Bookberger.
Yeah, we're down here with Brandon Bookberger and Charles Cosper. Brandon, a great run in the third position tonight. Tire strategy, fuel strategy played a big part in your finish tonight. Tell us about it.
I don't even know what to say. Yeah, there was a couple cautions there right in the, I'd say, lap 70 range. And no one was pitting in front of us, so I just pitted. And then about lap 100, I thought I could make it about 5-6 laps short. So trying to stretch it as far as I could. I was thinking maybe I could have made it on fuel. And then some mayhem happened in front of me. He caught my teammate Vinny. That sucks. He was having a good run. And then I don't know what happened after that. It was just caution after caution. We just lucked into that third place.
Well, it wasn't luck. It was a pretty good strategy that you used to play out, and maybe some things that you're talking about there that some other guys didn't see. But the third place finish should do pretty good in points for you.
Yeah, I hope. We missed Daytona. We were off the game there, and we were decent at Phoenix. Got caught up in a couple of wrecks. Chicagoland pretty much was pretty good there. Got caught in a really wreck there too, and kind of took everything from there and laid it out on the line tonight. And I have to thank Jake, my teammate, on that because he helped with the setup, and that was awesome. I just can't believe that they got first and third out of that.
Well, that's an awesome finish for you. From 37th in points, this should take you up, hopefully, within the top 25. And I know that's got to be a pretty important goal to stay top 25 in points, so you don't have to requalify for this series next year.
Yeah, Pro was tough, and I just barely squeaked in the DWC, and I don't want to go through that hassle again. I think it was some of the hardest racing I've ever had to do on this sim.
Oh, that's good to hear. Tell us who makes it happen for you, Brandon.
Last Row Motorsports and JDR Graphics. That's all I really got.
It looks like you'll probably be somewhere around, unofficially right now, 19th in the point standings, Brandon. So congratulations on that. It's great to see you bring it home here on third place. We also have Charles Cosper. Cosper down here with us brings it home in the fourth place position here at Las Vegas. Charles, about the same type of strategy that that green flag pit stops there caught some guys out, and you used it to your advantage.
Yeah, it was a 30th place car. We rode around and we weren't going to pit until we had to, and we stayed out and we got a caution. It seems like they always fall at the end of the race, and this time we were on the good end of it. Normally we're flying through the air and stuff, and this time we were on the good end of it. So it was just a relief, and then we got far enough in front of it there on that last caution to stay in front of all the mayhem that was going on behind us. Just a lot of luck played into it, that's for sure.
Well, sometimes that luck plays into it, but you had the setup there and you had the strategy to get yourself there. Tell us about what you were thinking there when about 70 laps to go, and you're setting yourself up for that big run at the end. Did you plan on making a late pit stop or later than most people?
Yeah, I came in and pitted on that last caution that we had, before that long run, and just kind of hung at the back and knew, that was probably going to be my game. It's really tough to pass right now, and I had planned on sticking it out as long as I could, and I ended up being about 8-9 laps short on fuel. But with everybody pitting and new tires and old tires, cars were coming and going, and I knew if I could stay out of trouble, that there was likely, going to be something there was something that was going to happen, and really just got lucky there. And I really wasn't sure how far we were up until, we lined up and it said P6, and I said, do what? There was a lot of cars, and they said, oh, they're a lap down. Okay, I'll take it.
Well, that's a great job for you tonight. You came into the series tonight 29th in points. Maybe coming out of here tonight, looks like you're going to be around 16th or something unofficially right now. So that's a big jump in points. A great fourth place finish. Tell us who makes it happen for you.
Yeah, I got to thank Lane Sim Products. They're sponsoring me this season. They do great work, custom button boxes. And I really got to thank Greg Spears, Matthew Moose. They spotted for me the whole race. And let's see, Rick Fouts, I got the setup from him, and then I tweaked on it a little bit and got her in the show. So I got to thank those guys so much.
Congratulations on your fourth place run here tonight, Charles. Hopefully we'll see you again here next week. We're going to throw it up to Tim Terry, who has your fifth place finisher, Chad Coleman.
Great to see a guy like Charles Cosper finish in position number 4. Great top 5 run for the 0-3. And how about this guy right here, Chad Coleman, finishes in position number 5. Where'd you come from?
Tim, I have no idea, man. It's like I said when I got in here. It's like, what in the hell just happened?
Finished in the 5th place position, and you had a great shot up there battling with Marcus Lindsay at the end, Charles, Brandon. Talk about the run to the finish and talk about that run staying out on the racetrack with that green flag run that we had.
Yeah, it's a lot like what Brandon and Charles was talking about. We were back there the whole time, the whole race. I ran around them too. We raced for 25th to 30th the whole time, and we had that caution around 70 or so to go, and we came in and pitted, topped it up with fuel, restarted back there in the back, and I was in the same boat they were. We were short on fuel, but we was going to ride until hopefully something happened. And when you get a lot of fast guys out there on tires, and you got other guys out there, that's been out there 50 laps on tires, sometimes stuff happens, and it did. We lucked into a finish.
And you mentioned the one thing about the top 25. It seems like with the Pro Series and now the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, you were hovering around that top 25 in the point standings. How does 14th place sound?
A lot better than 25th.
And had the incident at the start of the race as well, had to dodge a couple of wrecks. Talk about navigating through the mayhem in the first.
Yeah, we had to dodge a couple of wrecks earlier, and then me and Chris Main got together. It was nothing but racing. He got in there and got a little tight. I was loose, and we kind of came together and met in the middle on exit of 4. We spun out. And I think Charles was in that wreck with us. Luckily, nobody got much damage from it, enough to hurt him for the night. And we dodged some other stuff, and then at the end, we were up there in the front, and it's a lot easier to dodge wrecks when they're behind you.
Texas, 2 weeks. Can we do this interview thing all over again, get another top 5?
Man, I hope so. If we can keep transferring what we learned from Chicago to Vegas and then from Vegas to Texas, we're going to be pretty good. We got a pretty good team at MC Racing with Blackford and Byron, Josh Connors, and Josh Parker, even though he says he don't want to be a part of anything. But he's a lot of help this week, and Pedro kind of set us in the right direction that Chicago land. And I mean, we're gaining on it. We're learning slow. We don't catch on to the stuff as quick as some of the other teams do, but we got a pretty good group of guys, and we're learning.
You mentioned the team. Who else makes it happen for the number 7?
Oh, man, I got to thank Scott Granberg, gsracing.net. If it wasn't for him, I mean, he's got a great league. He's got a bunch of guys on his team that he's sponsoring right now. And got to thank JD Laird, JDR Graphics. Just cars always look great no matter what he's painted for me. New sponsor on the back of the car, Fast Track Sims. Guy does a lot of great stuff. He's got some sim shoes coming out. We're going to try a pair of those here soon and see what they're like. I think he's doing gloves, simulators. He's doing a little bit of everything right now, and everything he's got is pretty top-notch. And, of course, got to thank Tim Terry, Tim's Corner Motorsports.
And that's Chad Coleman coming home in position number 5. Fantastic run for car number 7. Nim, final thoughts, and unofficially going to throw this in here too. Unofficially, Michael Conti 1-point lead on Ray Alfala heading into 2 weeks at Texas. What a race this was.
Oh, it was a great race. It had 8 cautions for 30 laps. Actually, it didn't seem like that many cautions, but a number of them came there at the late in the race. 4 lead changes. Your winner tonight, Jake Sturgis. A lot of great guys who we normally don't see up in the top 5. We're up in the top 5 and got to interview them tonight. It's great seeing them in here tonight and getting some airtime. It was a fun event, Tim, and it was definitely an enjoyable race.
In 2 weeks' time, we head to the Texas Motor Speedway, see if Jake Sturgis can't repeat his victory from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Do we have a winner on the tweet, on the Twitter? If not, we'll check it out on Twitter. We'll throw that out there after the race. Check twitter.com/PSRTV for the winner of the Twitter contest. $25 going to go to the best tweet of the evening. Twitter.com/PSRTV. We head to Sebring on April 14th for the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. That's going to be a fantastic race as well. Gregor Hutu leads the points on the roadside. That's going to do it for us here this evening at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Once again, congratulations to Jake Sturgis, first-time winner in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. So for Zach Stanko, Ilka Happala, Ian Bushing, Matt Racing Kit Thomas, Chuck Johnson, Nim Cross. If I forgot anybody, I apologize. My name is Tim Terry, saying we'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we say, let's go racing from the Texas Motor Speedway. Keep the hammer down and we'll see you at the track.